Hi BL enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of highlights review for episode 13 of ABO Desire the series, and today I'll be breaking down the romance between Shaoyou and Hua Yong. This episode is a huge turning point because it digs deep into their history, reveals how far back their connection really goes, and sets the stage for why their bond feels so magnetic now. I'll walk you through the key moments, their emotional weight, and why this is one of the strongest love-driven episodes of the series so far. Let's dive right in. Episode 13 opens with a question that completely shifts the atmosphere. Shaoyou asks Hua Yong, "When did you meet me? How did you meet me?" And Hua Yong calmly replies, 15 years ago, in Japan. Right away, this triggers a whirlwind of memories for Shaoyou, who starts piecing together his childhood, his trips with his father's company, and his younger years spent in Dongyang. But what shocks him most is the math. If Hua Yong was only 8 at that time, and he himself was 12, then this history between them isn't just a casual encounter, it's something that has lingered for over a decade, buried in the past. This sets the mood for the entire episode: revelation, memory, and the reawakening of an old bond. For Hua Yong, this memory is crystal clear. Even though he knew Shaoyou had long forgotten, it didn't stop him from holding onto that moment. His disappointment is obvious, but what makes Hua Yong's character so fascinating here is that he doesn't let that disappointment crush him. Instead, he takes it as a challenge. He knows Shaoyou is hard to love, fickle, stubborn, forgetful, but he also sees the gentleness underneath all that toughness. Hua Yong has been carefully trying to draw that side out, cooking breakfasts he knows Shaoyou doesn't like, testing his patience with little things, hoping to slowly nudge him toward compromise. That's love in practice, tolerance as the prelude to intimacy. It's subtle, but it's powerful. One of the most striking parts of this episode is how it explains Hua Yong's worldview when it comes to alphas. He says plainly that most alphas only want him for physical reasons or to look down on him while still desiring him. And he's never been shy about fighting back against that kind of shallow treatment. But with Shaoyou, things were different right from the start. Hua Yong recalls that even in their first meeting as children, Shaoyou didn't just look down on him, he protected him. That distinction is huge. It shows that the foundation of their connection has always been based on something deeper than desire. This takes us back to the flashback scene, which is probably the highlight of the entire episode. We finally get the full story of how an 8-year-old Hua Yong and a 12-year-old Shaoyou first crossed paths. The setup is painful. Hua Yong, the illegitimate 13th child of the Hua family, is surrounded by cruel second-generation alphas at a banquet in Japan. They mock him, question his gender, and even threaten to humiliate him physically. But Hua Yong, even at that young age, shows the same cold defiance and sharp tongue we see in him now. He refuses to be cowed, even as the bullies close in. Just when the tension hits its peak, a voice cuts through the chaos: Shaoyou, dropping down from a tree like a force of nature. He's only 12, but already his S-level alpha pheromones dominate the scene, scattering the bullies and shielding Hua Yong in a way no one else ever had. The contrast is striking. Hua Yong is being forced to prove himself against cruelty, while Shaoyou steps in with quiet authority and effortless strength. This is the moment that cemented Hua Yong's impression of him, even if Shaoyou himself forgot it. The show lingers beautifully on the pheromone connection here. For the young Hua Yong, who had not yet fully differentiated, Shaoyou's bitter orange wine scent was intoxicating. It soothed him, calmed his restless body, and left an imprint that would never fade. Hua Yong wasn't moved by pheromones from anyone else, but Shaoyou's aura hit him like destiny. It wasn't just attraction, it was recognition. That explains so much about Hua Yong's loyalty to him now. For Shaoyou, on the other hand, this was one of the first times he ever felt his heart stir at the sight of someone so vulnerable and beautiful. The irony is that he thought Hua Yong was an omega then, when in reality, his future held a much more complicated path. What really makes this flashback shine is how layered it is. On the surface, it's a rescue scene. But deeper than that, it's about two kids who were both out of place, Hua Yong, the unwanted illegitimate child, and Shaoyou, the heir forced to attend social functions he hated. Both found a moment of connection in the midst of pressure, and that moment shaped their futures in ways neither realized. The writing here does an excellent job of blending innocence, destiny, and foreshadowing all at once. Back in the present, the episode doesn't let that nostalgia stand alone. Hua Yong actively reminds Shaoyou that he never forgot. He even recalls how, after the fight, he had shyly asked for Shaoyou's contact number, only to receive a giant X drawn across the paper instead. For Shaoyou, it was a throwaway moment. For Hua Yong, it became a treasure. Even more symbolic is the pocket watch Shaoyou dropped that day, which Hua Yong kept safe. It's not just an object, it's a thread that ties their lives together, proof that destiny had already been written 15 years ago. The emotional core of episode 13 is the way Hua Yong interprets Shaoyou's nature. Unlike everyone else in the corporate, ruthless world they live in, Hua Yong sees that Shaoyou is only tough on the surface. Deep down, he's gentle, kind, and almost too soft for the brutal world of business and family politics. This is what makes Hua Yong different from other people in Shaoyou's life. He doesn't just see the exterior, he sees the heart. And that recognition is what allows their romance to stand apart from the usual alpha-omega dynamic that dominates the ABO world. From a storytelling perspective, this episode is masterful because it brings everything full circle. We finally understand why Hua Yong has been so persistent, why he tolerates Shaoyou's flaws, and why he's so sure that Shaoyou is the one person worth fighting for. It's not blind devotion, it's rooted in a shared history, one that Hua Yong never let go of. The fact that Shaoyou forgot makes it bittersweet, but the fact that Hua Yong remembers makes it beautiful. As a viewer, the romance here feels less like a sudden attraction and more like fate slowly revealing itself. This isn't just about two people falling in love, it's about two lives that have been intertwined since childhood, even when one of them didn't realize it. It's about recognition, memory, and the patience to wait until love can finally bloom. In conclusion, Episode 13 of ABO Desire the series is one of the strongest episodes yet because it balances romance, history, and character growth all at once. The flashback is touching and heartbreaking, the present-day interactions show Hua Yong's quiet persistence, and the symbolic elements like the pocket watch tie everything together. For Sheng Shaoyou and Hua Yong, this episode doesn't just tell us why they're drawn to each other, it proves that their connection is deeper than attraction. It's history, destiny, and love woven together. And for fans of the series, it's an unforgettable milestone in their romance.